Laughlin, some 90 miles south of Sin City on the far southern tip of Nevada, nestled upon the beautiful Colorado River. Today, the site of one of the biggest UTV events of the year, the All-Terrain Concepts UTV Legends Championship for the Best in the Desert Racing Series. It's a double points event, which means there could be some serious shakeup in the championship as over 200 teams tackle this 17-mile race course. The scene is set. Who will etch their name into the history books and maybe just become a legend? Well, stay tuned. It's time to drop the green flag and turn them loose here in Laughlin.
You're watching the Best in the Desert series. Welcome to Laughlin, Nevada. This is the All-Terrain Concepts UTV Legends Championship, and we are excited to get going. This is the first time ever that the Best in the Desert has done a show 100% dedicated to the UTVs, motorcycles, and quad classes. No doubt, Brian Folks' father, Casey, would be very proud of what he's done with this series, to watch the growth and the ever-changing direction to keep up with the times. It's a beautiful effort for sure, and we're happy to be out here.
Yeah, it's always cool to come back down to Laughlin, Nevada, just south of Vegas. And this course, though, is second to none. As we take a look at the track map, we heard 17 miles around it. The UTVs, a lot of racing laps here over the weekend here in Laughlin, Nevada. So they will chew up this race course. A lot of great sand washes, high-speed areas, jumps. It's very technical. A brand-new infield section to throw these teams a curveball. But it's going to be fun to watch them battle it out here today.
It's the sixth race of the 2021 Best in the Desert Series. It's the fourth round for the UTV Series and the next to last points-paying round to determine the series championship. And we don't want to forget that it's the second event for the 2021 Four-Wheel Parts Youth UTV Series as well. So there's a lot going on with over 200 entries out here. And as you might imagine, a lot of different classes, a lot of different age groups. In fact, take a look at the three races there. There's 8 different categories, and it depends on age or whatever you can afford, or maybe your driving ability, but there's something out here for everyone. Race 2, as you can see there, Pro Production Naturally Aspirated Pro Unlimited, the UTV RS1, which is a single-seater, and Race 3 with a couple of different categories in it, including Pro Turbo Production and Pro Open Production. So a lot of stuff going on here, and that's just the UTVs.
As we take a look at some of the youth UTVs out here for their event, we saw a lot of great racing held here earlier this weekend, but they tackle this race course, and this is really beginning the ladder system of the Best in the Desert Racing Series. You know, UTVs coming on strong the last handful of years really gives young drivers, young teams, an opportunity to work their way up through the classes.
Yeah, and a number of different classes here for the youth UTV. You can see the 1000cc. There's also a 250. There's a 570. There's 170s. There's something out here for everybody for sure. I saw Lake Adler in there as well. Of course, Greg Adler, a longtime short course racer, as we go to the two-wheel competition. And again, a number of classes here, including Open Pro Motorcycle, a number of different age groups, expert, and everybody will be duking it out, trying to get around these guys as well, the ATVs.
Yeah, watching the motorcycle riders, the ATV riders is so impressive. You know, on the big events from Vegas to Reno when they run those things. But here, a short course style, they're going to be running laps. And you can see right there, they are on the hammer trying to beat the clock.
A good look at Danny Cooper, first place in the 0 to 30-year-old pro motorcycle category. And also, how about the Ironman category? You got to love it there. Jared Curley getting it done. We had a chance to talk to a couple of our winners as well to find out what their thoughts were about the course.
It was good. We got a pretty good start. Just started clicking off laps, and then everything came together about halfway through the race, and smooth sailing from there.
Race didn't go to plan. We were leading it, we had a good lead, everything was looking good, and then we had some bike problems that cost us a lot of time, and then we kind of making up a little bit of time, and then that last lap with more bike problems. So it wasn't our day, but we finished.
It was really fun, fast and sandy, as always. I've done this one a couple other times. It's been a few years though, and yeah, it's just hot, so that just adds to the element of like just trying to get to the finish. But I did 8 laps by myself, and I was just told I won my class, and I was 2nd overall behind Josh Rowe.
It was good. We had a perfect race. Got a flat on the last lap, but no, it was a good race. Little bummed on the pro quad turnout. Hopefully it gets a little better, but yeah, no, it was a good time. Myself and my buddy that hasn't ever raced a quad before, we put it down today, so it was a lot of fun.
It went really good. The course was really fun. Like once you found lines to ride and everything, like you were able to like ride in the dust a little bit easier. The dust was a challenge, especially with the sun in the morning. And but it was a fun course, a little short course with all the turns and everything, and then we got desert out further out there. So it was fun.
Yeah, same here. The competition was really stiff this time, and this was actually one of our best friend Micah's bikes and stuff, so this was my first time riding it actually, and I had a lot of fun out on the course. It was fun to get used to, and you guys did a great job here at Best in the Desert.
Great to see all the girls out here, and of course the categories developed for them as well to compete, and as you can see, they're having a lot of fun. As you can also see, there's no shortage of cars out here.
First race of the day, let's take a look at the starting order for the UTV Rally and UTV Pure Stock categories. Jack Olagus will be first off there. We will have a staggered start. You see the Cowboy will roll off 5th. Donald Cerrone is a great field of cars to get ready and go racing here at Laughlin. Green flag comes out and we're underway.
Oh, and what a shame. One of them snubbed it right off the starting line. Great battle here, though. Olagus on the far outside with the early lead. That is Mikey Kelly right there behind him. The Cowboy, Cerrone sticks his nose in there, gets up on the bike, and 15-year-old Mikey Kelly goes from 3rd to 1st. What a great start for him. Olagus falls into 2nd place. You can see the Cowboy there, Cerrone, chose to split lane, kind of got caught up in the middle and went to the outside just a little bit.
Second group onto the race course. You can see some standing water out there. They do groom this thing in between races, try and wet down some areas right there as it will get slippery, but it will dry pretty quick. Over 115 degrees scheduled here today. It's all about the whole shot entering turn number 1.
Yeah, you got to be ready to pull those tear-offs as well right off the bat. Another good look at that RS1. The single-seater for Polaris is a very capable car for sure. A lot of advancements, and they changed a number of things on those cars to really help them out, and boy, did it pay dividends. Wow, Scott Baker with a great start right there into that left-hander, and got a little bit light on the inside, but was able to put the power back down. Man, what a solid effort there from the get-go.
Back up front to your leader on course, the 987 of Mikey Kelly, as we mentioned earlier, just 15 years old, getting it done here early. No dust in front of you, and it's nice when you're all alone out front as the final group, or second to last group, I should say. Race off the line, Can-Ams, Polaris, a lot of different makes and models out here. Like I said, turn number 1, you got to be ready to rock and roll when you get there.
Yeah, Harbor up there on 2 going into that left-hander. Looked like he might have got past here by the RS1. And there's a look at Jack Olagus, currently 2nd on track. And, of course, that name just synonymous with success out here in the desert.
Ryan Edwards in the 968 UTV Pure Stock. Yee! And again, one thing that's cool about all these different UTVs is, as we talked about it before, we'll go on board with Edwards, of course, his co-driver Aaron Edwards there in the Fox-sponsored shot there, and so many different makes and models, and really, you know, if you want to get into desert racing, you just have a lot of choices, and that's what's cool about it. Here's the Cowboy, one of the most decorated UFC fighters in history, playing out here with the kids.
So not a guy you want to run off the track?
Not a guy you want to have an issue with when you get on the racetrack.
Use the siren. Use the siren. Maybe a light bump in the back and let him know you're there. Not somebody you want to throw down with. Look at this battle here for 4th. Speaking of throwing down and doing a good job. Some ladies in the mix here.
Yeah, and a nice shot. And you're going to see, if you're back in the pack, you're going to be in the dust. There's a good shot of it right there. It could get very dusty out here. The wind has been, you know, moderate at best, but it's also been extremely hot. We're going to see temperatures today above 115 degrees, so it's very challenging for these drivers. As the 942 there out of Solvang, California, Mike Gutierrez, the All-Terrain Concepts Polaris, will go on board with the 940 of Jamie Campbell.
And co-driver Austin Rodriguez sitting alongside, helping navigate through the desert. You can see the spare tire there in the back, all the equipment that is required to keep these cars in competition as we go back up to our leader. Mikey doing a great job here out in first place, trying to put some laps together. Who knows? He just might bring this thing home. Here's a look at your top 5, courtesy of Ford. We'll be right back on the other side.
Ready for any challenge. Maxxis tires can handle even the most punishing off-road conditions. Maxxis tires. Tread victoriously.
To race off-road, it takes teams of people considering every detail. We go hard, break it, go back again. We learn from it. Sweat and sweat some more. Push hard, then harder. Victory is elusive. Success is what you make of it. At Fox, we've tasted victory and defeat. We've learned and become the leading choice of off-road racers everywhere. Earning the right to say, the best run Fox.
Yeah, I got that right turn. We're good.
Let's meet up at the compound group up.
At 10-4. Yeah, for sure, dog. Good little driver, straight on through.
Since 2014, All Terrain Concepts have been providing off-road enthusiasts superior products. Anything from light bars to winches, they have it all. And it's great to have them this weekend as they are the title sponsor of the All Terrain Concepts UTV Legends Championship here in Laughlin, Nevada. Peter Rector with us here today. I know it's a little hot out here in Laughlin, Nevada, 110 plus, but how'd you guys get involved in sponsoring this event this weekend?
Basically, you know, we've been making LED lighting since 2014, and you know, the racing community has always been a big family to me. And you know, once we got big enough where we can start supporting Best in the Desert, we decided to jump on board. What we're hoping to do is just, you know, show the industry and show the racers above all that, you know, we are a big family and that we're out here to support them as much as they're supporting us. Yeah, we primarily focus on the LED lights. You know, some of the new things we brought to the market, safety lights. You know, we have the safety light that's been approved by Best in the Desert. You know, we also do light bars. We do anything from a 6-inch up to a 50-inch. You know, we got a lot of teams out here that we're supporting. You know, we're trying to step up more with our pods and stuff like that, give us some high-end LEDs that are able to project the light out as far as you need it. You know, all at an affordable price with a genuine lifetime warranty, no questions asked, and you know, that's what we're all about.
Welcome back to the All Terrain Concepts UTV Legends Championship. We're here in Laughlin, Nevada, and Mikey Kelly is ripping it up. The 15-year-old got off to a great start, very aggressive right in the very beginning, and has been killing it ever since. Good look at Barrett Howarth as well.
Yeah, you can see not a lot of dust right there for the 933 as he cruises along. A lot of dust right here, though. Is a very good battle. Right now running second, UTV Pure Stock with Jack Oligas, who is second in the rally class right behind him. You heard the siren. You mentioned it earlier. They'll blow that siren, let some of the slower traffic know. Faster car behind you, man. You need to move over and let me by.
Eric Reynolds out of Westminster, California. And there's a look at the Cowboy, currently third on track, and he was very aggressive there in the very beginning as well, and that's when Mikey got down underneath him, got up on the bike there for just a moment, but since then has settled into a solid third place as we go on board here with Ryan Edwards out in first place for the UTV Pure Stock category.
Yeah, and if you saw the graphic off the top of the show, there are multiple classes out on the race course at once. Each race will have 3 classes on the racetrack with the exception of the last race, which will have 2. So you'll have to deal with some of the traffic, especially when you get into lap 2, lap 3. You're going to be catching some of the slower traffic. And if you're one of the slower traffic, it can get hectic out there just to make sure you stay out of the way.
Speaking of hectic, take a look at the dust there, trying to see where they're going, of course. And yeah, some of the class rules are a little bit different. Age, good move right there around the outside, and a respectful wave as he clearly moved over and made way. That's the way you want to see it done so that there's no accidents out here. Scott Baker trying to pick up a spot, and you can see him starting to drive into the dust.
Yeah, that's just how they do it here in desert racing. If you've never seen this style of racing, whether it's a point-to-point race or a short course, semi-short course race like this, in the dust, dealing with other cars, and this track will get chewed up. A lot of racing here today. You see a look at Mills working their way through. Here's Kaylee Oligus out of Las Vegas, just up the road. Steve Oligus, Jack Oligus, the family here.
Yeah, that was a great look, too, at that damper package. You can see those shocks going to work there. And, of course, they'll build a lot of heat for the fluids that's inside of them. Again, you've got to have a good package out here. We saw that before. When they land hard and they don't rebound, that means somebody has done their homework for sure on the damper package.
Great shot of David Payne, who is currently in the lead of UTV stock. As, again, just clicking off laps, trying to lay down the fastest lap they can. We'll go on board once again with Jamie Campbell out of California.
Yeah, and some of the rules inside of these classes they mandate 2 seats. Other ones are single seats. Some of them they're allowed to flash the ECU. Some of them they're not. But everything else on the car will be stock. Riley Benquist there, good shot at him. And Mikey Kelly, first vehicle to finish across the stripe. Man, what a great effort for him. Right off the bat, was very aggressive. Got out front, had good clean track, and stuck with it. Jack Oligus ended up second in that battle and will come across the stripe in second place here.
Nice shot of 9th place on track, Adam Murphy. But as you mentioned, Kelly getting it done here first across the line. Let's hear from him.
It was really fun. I really liked the track. I had a good hole shot. I came out first and I just led the whole race. It was really hot. Behind the wheel was so fun. It was such a good track. I really enjoyed it.
Solid effort for that young man as we take a good look at Jacob Peters, still on course, making some dust. In the meantime, we're going to go back to the finish line and talk to our second place finisher.
Yeah, today was obviously, it was a hot one, but we had a great start, and we were able to come out second out of the gate, and we just maintained that the whole way. We never let anyone catch us, and the guy who was in front of us drove a great race too, so I'm happy that we were able to get second.
Yeah, great day for August, that entire team. Colin Miller there out of Canyon Lake, California, finishing up his run. We'll get it back down and hear from third.
I love it. My co-driver was pushing me where we needed to be pushed and pulling me where we needed to be pulled, so he did his job great. It's cool having my buddy Dustin Jones in the pits running us hard, like, you gotta go, you gotta go. So we battled, we wanted Jack, we had him for a while, and it was just back and forth, so my hats off to that little boy. It was cool. First season out, we're moving up to Pro Turbo next year. I think it's only fitting. So this is fun to go out there and compete with everybody. When my car runs great, we prepped it ourselves this time, first time, and we had no issues.
So congrats to Cowboys, solid effort there. It sounds like they're going to step up their game next year and go a little bit faster. Here's a look at the overall results for the UTV Rally, UTV Sportsman, and the Pure Stock category.
Yeah, Mikey Kelly leading the way there. You can see Oligus, of course, second across the line as we get set for race number 2. Here today in Laughlin, Nevada, as these guys and girls get ready to rock and roll. The All Terrain Concepts UTV Legends Championship will turn them loose when we come back.
The Best in the Desert series is brought to you by Maxxis, your way to adventure. All Terrain Concepts, trail rated, race proven. And by Ford, built Ford tough.
Yeah, I got that right turn. We're good.
Let's meet up at the compound group up.
At 10-4. Yeah, for sure, dog. Good, little driver, straight on through.
Ready for any challenge. Maxxis tires can handle even the most punishing off-road conditions. Maxxis tires. Tread victoriously.
To race off-road, it takes teams of people considering every detail. We go hard, break it, go back again. We learn from it. Sweat and sweat some more. Push hard, then harder. Victory is elusive. Success is what you make of it. At Fox, we've tasted victory and defeat. We've learned and become the leading choice of off-road racers everywhere. Earning the right to say, the best run Fox.
Beautiful overhead shot here at the All Terrain Concepts UTV Legends Championship. Laughlin, Nevada is where it's all going down. The beautiful Colorado River there, of course. And here's a look at the UTV RS1, UTV Unlimiteds, UTV Pros starting order here when Josh Rowe and Dallas Gonzalez, all that gang up there in that front row, ready to do battle.
Yeah, same kind of start we saw in the first race, staggered start, land rush style down this long front straightaway into that hard left-hander, and we'll see how chewed up this track is as we get ready for this second race, and on board with Dallas Gonzalez into turn number 1.
Yeah, and again, one of those RS1s really showing some muscle, and the gearing on those vehicles was altered just a little bit whenever they built them, so they could carry some good speed, and he used it all right there. Second row takes off. You could also see a good bit more dusty than it was a little bit earlier for race number 1.
Gonzalez getting up on the bank there through some of that heavier dirt, that loamy sand, if you will, working around that outside groove. Remember, double points weekend here for the UTV Legends Championship. 15 cars in UTV Pro within 61 points of the top spot, so it is going to be tight here this weekend.
And if you're new to this style of racing, as we take a look at J.D. Marsh, keep in mind if they start off in the third or fourth row, have a great run here, these events are still based on time now. It's going to be difficult when you start that deep just because of track conditions with the dust and stuff that's out there, but if you put together a great run, you could actually beat the people in the first row or even the first person on track. And wow, everybody getting after it right here. Trey Gibbs, a very accomplished short course racer, out here cutting his teeth in the desert as well.
Yeah, I had a chance to talk to him prior to the race back at Vegas to Reno. Very excited to run in the desert. Of course, known for his short course pro buggy accomplishments, trying to get it done here in the UTVs. In the thick of it right here.
Again, back on board there with Trey Gibbs. You can see the spare tire and some of the equipment required, but look at them back behind them, trying to see where they're going, dealing with the whoops, dealing with the soot and the loam. Looks like Michael Isom, the reigning champ, taking the outside line there in that split lane as we go back on board with Dallas Gonzalez. Oh! Managed to save it somehow.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's one thing you can do real easy on this course with these vehicles. You can get them high-centered, you know. You have to worry about tossing belts on these things. As you see Josh Rowe and Wernemont going at it, that's the battle for the 5th spot.
Wernemont cruising up there to put a bumper on him just to let him know, hey, man, I'm here. And, of course, the respectful thing is to move over. You don't always have to if you're going to race them hard. And you can see right there, Wernemont did not have enough speed to get around. He did move over just a little bit, but then Wernemont did not have the straight line speed to get around him.
Yeah, and it may change, you know, early in the race versus late in the race on how you race your competitors there, how hard you race them. Back up to the leader on track, J.D. Marsh in the 1929. And, of course, this beautiful Polaris Razor that we saw on board shots with Dallas Gonzalez working through some of the jumps there.
Yeah, we talked about damper programs there and how they can soak these things up. You can see it right there, but you also see a fair amount of rebound where it's kicking that car back up in the air, so it's a bit of a handful. And here comes Isom at speed. Looks like Gibbs might be having some issues, so Isom second in the points, looking to take advantage of another position. There's a look at the top 5. We'll be right back.
Building a country is hard work. That's why Ford builds the Super Duty. To help build the roads, the buildings, and everything else that needs to get built. There are trucks. And then there's the new Ford Super Duty, the most capable heavy-duty pickup truck ever built.
I got that right turn. We're good.
Let's meet up at the compound group up.
That's 10-4. Yeah, for sure, dog. Good, little driver, straight on through.
Ready for any challenge. Maxxis tires can handle even the most punishing off-road conditions. Maxxis tires. Tread victoriously.
And welcome back to the All Terrain Concepts UTV Legends Championship here in Laughlin, Nevada. We'll catch you up with a little bit of what we missed during the break as we take a look at Carson Wernemont. JD Marsh, unfortunately, the leader on track, had mechanical issues. So the battle for first now between Dallas Gonzalez and Carson Wernemont.
Yeah, Gonzalez with a hot rod here this weekend for sure. He's going to be one to watch in the points battle. Looking for a championship this year, and these guys really going at it hard here early.
Wow, really aggressive. That car really handling good on the inside there. Nice move for sure. Lap 6 here as we take a look at Travis Wells.
On board with the Lucas Oil helicopter there, Graydon Lauer, the man flying that. Of course, our good friend Con bringing us all the shots. Back on track, Dallas Gonzalez again, third on track right now. A lot of changes with leaders having problems during that last caution, or during that last commercial break, as now we see the 2973 from Yorba Linda, California. Katie Vernola has been racing UTVs in the desert for a long time. We've also seen her in short course from time to time.
Yeah, UTVs and the Pro Light Division and short course, so good to see her out here as well, having some fun in the desert. Once again, we go back to Michael Isom, currently in first place, the UTV Unlimited class, and that's all but an open class. Any type of suspension allowed. Minimum age for the drivers in that category is 14, but they can really build some good steam inside of those cars and carry a lot of speed.
15-year-old Michael McFadden there, currently fourth in the points. Coming into this weekend at Laughlin, Carson Wernemont, first place in the UTV Pro Naturally Aspirated class.
Yeah, and I love all the different manufacturers out here as well. You kind of mentioned it before. Yeah, Yamaha's out here, of course, Polaris out here, Kawasaki, Can-Am. So pick your desired car and come out here and have a crack at it. Honda, of course, don't want to forget them as well. And we go back to take a look at Travis Wells, and Wells slinging that Razor around.
Yeah, you can really see him on the gas hard, the driver out of Utah, Mitch Johnson, the co-driver. As we take a look at third place UTV Unlimited, Chris Blaze on the track, the 2910.
Yeah, a lot of these cars with centrifugal style clutches, they have the belts that they rely on and need them to be very, very durable. As you take a look at Carson Wernemont, of course the Yamaha's out here with a different style transmission altogether, more of a conventional style transmission rather than the CVT style. So there's different ways to get the goal accomplished as we take a look at Jim Beaver.
Yeah, our old buddy, third in UTV Unlimited points, had a great run at Vegas to Reno, came home second.
Laying on the horn there across the stripe, pretty cool, man, having some fun. Let's go back and take a look at third place. Michael McFadden, a rookie out here, his first year.
Yeah, first year in racing. Hasn't been out of the top 10 so far. He was fifth at the 250 there in Parker, 10th at Silver State, coming off a good run at Vegas to Reno. Carson Wernemont, first vehicle to cross the stripe. You see Travis Wells right behind him there in the 1995. Guys get the helmets off, and yeah, 115 plus. They still looking pretty good out there. I don't know how hot it is in those cars, but definitely going to be pretty warm for the drivers and the co-drivers.
For sure, a lot hotter when these guys are not at speed. How about Braden Baker? A great run here. Started off a little deeper in the pack, but he has a shot at winning the overall, as we had talked about a little bit earlier in the show. Let's go down and talk to first across the line.
Yeah, it was a great day. We got off to a little bit of a slow start, and we had to pick our way through the pack, and by like lap 2 or 3, coming through the Fox Proving Grounds, this Kawasaki KRX on these walk-driving shocks just blew the doors off everyone, and we went straight to the front and never looked back from there. And now we're first ones at the finish, and feels really good. So.
That's where Carson Wernermont's used to running. He won the Parker 250 and coming off a big win at Vegas to Reno. So starting off the weekend well here at Laughlin. As you see, the Texan Ken Criswell, 7th in UTV Unlimited points, working his way through the race. And Jimmy D. Rodriguez out of Glendale, Arizona, the 1935, as we get it back down and hear from second place.
Oh, the race course was a blast, man. James and I took off on the starting line. We were bumping. I think we were like 4th or 5th. Coming into the first few turns, and we were just battling dust the first couple of laps.
How much did the track change over the course of the 8 laps?
It didn't change a lot, except for we got to see it towards the last parts of it when it opened up without dust, but it was fast and relatively smooth. I thought it'd be a lot rougher than it was, but we had some great speed out there in our Can-Am Maverick.
And we go back and take a look at McVeigh. This is Jonathan McVeigh out of Queen Creek, Arizona. Another good look at the RS1, the CVT style clutch inside of that one. So no shifting, just throttle and brake pedal. And once again, we'll go back down to the finish line as we take a good look there at Tom Wilson, but this time we'll talk to third.
It was really good. The thing that made me really nervous was the start of the race. Just 8 wide, never done this before, never done this course before. It's my first season racing. And the dust was super thick today. The wind was sometimes on your side, not all the time though.
And you can see that spare dry belt over there on the passenger side as well, just in case. There's a look at the overall results. You can see all the different categories here, but congrats to Braden Baker. He'll pick up the overall win. Solid effort there for him. So we've got them all lined up here again. Race number 3 is about to begin, and you don't want to miss it. We'll be right back.
Ready for any challenge. Maxxis tires can handle even the most punishing off-road conditions. Maxxis tires. Tread victoriously.
There's torque. Then there's 1,050 pound-feet of available best-in-class torque. There's towing. Then there's up to 37,000 pounds of available best-in-class towing. There's backing up a trailer. Then there's backing up with available class-exclusive Pro Trailer Backup Assist. In other words, there are trucks, and then there's the new Ford Super Duty, the most capable heavy-duty pickup truck ever built.
Yeah, I got that right turn. We're good.
Let's meet up at the compound group up.
That's 10-4. Yeah, for sure, dog. Good, little driver, straight on through.
And once again, we welcome you back to Laughlin, Nevada for the All-Terrain Concepts UTV Legends Championships. The big dogs are out here on the line for race number 3 to throw it down.
UTV Pro Turbo and the Open class, as you can see, ready to rock and roll. Here's how they will start. Mitch Guthrie Jr. will lead them into that very interesting turn 1. You see Ryan Piplick, Dustin Jones, Brett Serapis there set to go off 5th. It will actually be his brother Christian behind the wheel here in this race. Brett opted to go to the USC football game. Let's hear from our number 1 qualifier.
One big thing here in Laughlin is getting that hole shot, so I'm really happy we came out first in qualifying. So we started off right, we're in a good spot, and then now tomorrow we kind of just have to put it all together, end up in a good position and beat those couple guys that are right behind me. The points are pretty tight, so if we can come out of this one in a good spot, it's going to give us a little comfortable gap between the other guys for Blue Water.
Yeah, as we talked about earlier, double points weekend, it's tight in all the classes, and if you can have a good run here, you can really set yourself up good for the final race of the Blue Water Desert Challenge as the green flag drops and we're ready to rock and roll with UTV Pro Turbo.
clear to see the massive power that these things have and get into turn number 1. I think he actually continued on.
Yeah, you get upside down. If you can roll it back over on all fours, of course, it was Christian Serapis doing that in turn number 1. He gets back on all fours. Now we'll have his sights set on the rest of the field, but we'll have to deal with that dust early.
Of course, Christian, a former 6100 class champion, spends a lot of time as well in the big trucks. We send out row number 2, and the problem is when you get a couple of cars back with all that dust, you don't really know where the apex of the turn is, and you see it a little bit late, put a lot of wheel in it, and that's exactly what happens. Up and over he goes, but the safety inside of the vehicles, the strength of the vehicle itself, he's able to continue on. Another beautiful shot here, and looks like he had a little bit of help, and that again, I think, goes back to the lack of vision.
Well, I guess if you're going to roll over, get back on all fours, do it turn 1, lap 1. So you have the rest of the race to try and work your way to the front. But you can see just how loamy, just how thick that dirt or that sand is there in turn number 1 as we go up a little bit further in the race course to Bruce Binquist at Acosta Mesa in the 850.
Well, and you can see Binquist have to check up there very quickly inside of the dust. Did not realize the 991 of Sierra Romo was right there. And of course, the second you check up, the first thing that goes through your mind is, am I about to get hit from behind? Because you don't know how close the guy is behind you, or the driver is behind you, I should say.
Yeah, Binquist, 48-year-old driver, was second qualifying. Romo, of course, 20, as she was off course trying to get back on. Binquist off as well.
Yeah, a couple drivers off there, and again, I mean, related directly to that dust, just not being able to see where you're going and trying to race the cars around you. Joe making his way through that right-hander, does a nice job, has some clean track in front of him, and Mitch Guthrie Jr. did a great job on that hole shot. Puts the Red Bull-sponsored machine out in front for some clean air.
Guthrie won the UTV Turbo here last year at the Laughlin Desert Classic night race. Former champ, finished third in the points last year, but a seasoned veteran, if you will, really knows these cars, knows this race course, and he's going to be a player not only in the championship for the race here today.
Yeah, and young Elliott sitting alongside helping out as we take a look at Ryan Piplick. And Ryan currently third in points. Mitch Guthrie leading in the points. So these guys duking it out. As we talked about before, Rob mentioned that this is a double points event. So important.
Yeah, and second in points, there is Dustin Jones, the 978. Third at the 250, was second most recently at Vegas Torino. On board with Bruce Binquist, and a good look. You have some of the officials there. Big road crossing. Nice little jump. Man, it's got to feel good to clear a road when you're out on course.
Yeah, it's just got to be so sketchy, though. You can only see a few feet in front of you with that dust out there. You're on the mat going as fast as these things will go. And let me tell you something. They are no slugs. These things really roll down the road for sure. Anything goes wrong, or for some reason there's a car that ends up in front of you, it's going to be a bad day. Hard on the brakes right here, checking up for this left-hander, and of course no shortage of ruts and whoops in the middle of it as well, and then into a whoop section to put those dampers to work.
Yeah, and a lot of different options there to try and find the fastest way through that section. Back to fifth place on track, that's Sierra Romo, the 991. Ninth in the points coming into this event as we go on board with the Rancho Santa Fe, California driver Christian Serapis. Can-Am KMC wheels on the side, again filling in for his brother Brett.
And Christian slated to make a start in the Stadium Super Trucks here in just another month or so at the Long Beach Grand Prix. He's excited about that as we take a look at Toronto. And Brandon Sims with some big speed right there and sails right on by.
Yeah, again, you can see just how wide this section is. A lot of different choices. Where's it going to be the smoothest? Going to the outside part of the...
Oh! Sims stuffs it.
The Best in the Desert series is brought to you by VP Racing Fuels, making power. K&N, filtration for the future. And by Lucas Oil, keep that engine alive.
Yeah, I got that right turn. We're good.
Meet up at the compound, group up.
At 10-4. Yeah, for sure, dog. Good, little driver, straight on through.
ready for any challenge. Maxxis tires can handle even the most punishing off-road conditions. Maxxis tires. Tread victoriously.
To race off-road, it takes teams of people considering every detail. We go hard, break it, go back again. We learn from it. Sweat and sweat some more. Push hard, then harder. Victory is elusive. Success is what you make of it. At Fox, we've tasted victory and defeat. We've learned and become the leading choice of off-road racers everywhere. Earning the right to say, the best run Fox.
And once again, we're back here with the All-Terrain Concepts UTV Legends Championship at Laughlin, Nevada, as we take a look at the Red Bull-sponsored number 951. That is Mitch Guthrie Jr. out front, and also your points leader in the class.
Yeah, and if you want to know just how important qualifying is, or qualifying well, you can just see smooth sailing. Probably hasn't pulled a tear off this entire race.
Yeah, that helmet, both helmets, about as clean as they could possibly be for a desert race out here, as we take a look at the 915 once again of Brian Piplick, and doing a good job now. Second place on track, was in third, so picking his way forward for sure.
Yeah, best run of the year for Piplick, a second at Silver State, CST Tire Polaris.
So currently at least in position to duplicate that, and anything goes wrong with Mitch will be there to take over it, as Dustin Jones is now third on track.
Yeah, and Jones not too far behind. Again, coming into this weekend, second in the points. Second place run at Vegas to Reno, that Can-Am S3 Power Sports Monster Energy Baja Design sponsored car. Beautiful Can-Am there as he is on the hammer through this section.
Good to listen in here. As Bruce Benquist makes his way through some of the twisty, tight, turny stuff here, and you can see how thick that loam is on either side.
Yeah, definitely a narrow section right here on board with Benquist. This track getting chewed up quite a bit by the time this third and final race of the day gets out on it. So they'll have their hands full for sure. Sierra Romo, fifth on track in that 991.
And yeah, we saw Sierra a little bit earlier on in the show. Unfortunately lost a position, but since then has settled in nicely. Progressing forward with the Razor there, Toyo Tire sponsored machine.
One top 10 on the year, finished 8th at the opener at the Parker 250. We did see her at the Laughlin Desert Classic night race last year where she finished up in 8th.
Having a great run here so far. Picks the throttle up, carries some nice speed out of that right-hander, and we take a look at Christian Serapis. Keep in mind, Christian rolled that thing over there in the very first turn, and you never know if the car looks great. Since then, he's been scrapping hard, trying to make up some of that ground that he lost.
Steve Serapis, of course, a very accomplished desert racer in his own right. The father of Brett and Christian told me the plan today, full fuel load, no planned stops, start to finish. Try and get there as quick as they can, but you're right, bouncing back quite nicely from getting over there on that first turn.
Yeah, Steve really seasoned out here in the desert. Also did some short course stuff as well, and has provided a great platform for his sons as well, as we take a look at Mitchell Alsup and the number 906. Mitchell sailing down through there as the 974 of Randy Romo has pulled into the pits. You just talked about not making any pit stops, taking on a full load of fuel. Clearly, as you can see here, in terms of time, this is very costly.
Yeah, and we're also hearing over the radio possible issue for Mitch Guthrie. Potential shock issue for the 951. So that is certainly going to hurt his chances on this double points weekend to leaving here with the points lead.
Good look there at Jason Murray and the Can-Am. By the way, the only category out here that's allowed to run the 35-inch tire. Everybody else is on a 33, so some of these pros and unlimiteds taking advantage of a bigger tire. We'll be right back with more action.
Building a country is hard work. That's why Ford builds the Super Duty. To help build the roads, the buildings, and everything else that needs to get built. There are trucks. And then there's the new Ford Super Duty, the most capable heavy-duty pickup truck ever built.
Yeah, I got that right turn. We're good.
Let's meet up at the compound group up.
That's 10-4. Yeah, for sure, dog. Good, little driver, straight on through.
Ready for any challenge. Maxxis tires can handle even the most punishing off-road conditions. Maxxis tires. Tread victoriously.
The Best in the Desert series is brought to you by Maxxis, your way to adventure. Optima Batteries, the ultimate power source. And by Lucas Oil, keep that engine alive.
And there's a look at your new leader, Ryan Piplick, here at the All Terrain Concepts UTV Legends Championship in Laughlin, Nevada. Unfortunately for Mitch Guthrie, he had some mechanical issues, and Ryan took over the point.
Yeah, and this is the best possible scenario for Piplick, who came into this weekend third in points, and the worst possible scenario for Mitch Guthrie. Dustin Jones out of Louisiana, the 978, and that Can-Am also going to benefit if he can race his way to the finish as well.
Yeah, and clearly rolling up on a car in front of him. You can see the dust trail there, so getting closer and closer as we take a look at Christian Serapis once again.
Yeah, has worked his way up to third from last time we saw him, so from getting upside down and rolling over in turn one, lap one, raced up to third on course. So a good day for Christian Serapis, that entire team. Fourth on track right now, Bruce Benquist in the 850.
Yeah, and just to refresh people, if you might have missed it, Serapis had a little bit of help. He didn't flip that thing all by himself. It was an aggressive start here for this category. Bernie Gomez out of Huntsville, Alabama, making the trek out west here. And look at this battle with Mitchell Alsop. Alsop trying to get around. Nerfs him right there and says, I'm here, man. Move her on over.
The Can-Am Shock Therapy Method wheels, 927 of Justin Smith, 50 years young, out of Arizona. Logging some laps here, looking to close out the day strong.
Good look at what they're dealing with there, as using their hands for shields there to try and block some of the glare from the sunshine, some of the stuff, so the elements that you don't think about whenever we're watching it on TV that the drivers and co-drivers are dealing with, as we take a look at Mitch Guthrie, mentioned before that unfortunately was having some mechanical issues.
Yeah, and same thing there. You can see them trying to block out a little bit of the sun, so he goes from the lead back to 7th on the race course right now.
Trying to adjust that radio wire as well, a little bit of communication clearly with the co-driver. And yeah, I mean, not only is the sun, the glare from the sun brutal, but whenever you mix that in with dust, you just lose almost all Vision.
Jeremiah Scott, currently second in the UTV Pro Open class in the 916.
Good look at those big 35-inch tires there. Carrying some good speed for sure as Larry Heidler is currently 9th on track. Everybody dealing with the sun here, getting late in the day.
Vision can be highly overrated here in desert racing, as first to finish will be Piplick in the 815 as he crosses the finish line. And I believe that's Russell Bowers right behind him. Remember, Grand Prix style finish. Once the overall leader finishes, everyone will be stopped at the finish line, whether they completed the minimum laps or not. Currently 10th on track is the 917, Jason Murray in that Can-Am.
Still digging hard right to the finish line on his final lap, by the way. And Dustin Jones now sailing across the finish line at speed. Let's go down and talk to first across the finish line.
Yeah, the strategy I had, basically I did it the entire race up until basically the last lap. I just watched the people got behind me, never pushed the car any harder than I really needed to. Struggled a couple of lap traffic guys, did some stupid mistakes, but drove through it and came home with the win, it sounds like, so I'm excited. You know, compared to when last time we were here, I felt like this was a freeway. Last time we rode this track backwards and it was the roughest I've ever thought, so I came out here expecting that. And I came out here and I was like, dang, this thing's so much fun. It's flowing. Nothing's really big. This is a great track right now, so I'm happy today. Nice job today.
Great stuff as Christian Serapis digs hard after flipping the car and is third across the finish line. Solid effort, man. Never give up.
Yeah, Brother Brett got to be pretty happy with that, man. The way it started for them, it doesn't look like it was going to be too good of a day, but it turned out all right. Colt Brinker off on the racetrack as we get it back down to here from second.
I felt like I was running super hard, really beating on the car, and the guys that were running right in front of me were holding me off. So the dust was really an equalizer today. I feel like I could have ran a little faster with a little less dust, but as soon as we started getting clean air, the track started going away. So it was a rough race. We had some problems towards the end, lost power steering, and so the last lap I gave up about 40 seconds, and so we coasted in second, which, man, out here against the fastest dudes in the country, I'm so pumped to finish second, but it was a tough race today.
And you can hear him working that throttle as Bruce Benquist digs hard all the way across the stripe. Fourth one across the finish line there, and the sun's setting there off into the far west as well. Josh Meister now, currently 13th on track.
Yeah, Meister coming in 6th in the points, so trying to salvage a decent finish here as Mitchell Alsop will be the 5th vehicle to cross the finish line there as we get it back down here from 3rd place here today.
Yeah, it was definitely exciting. Didn't really get the best jump off the land rush and actually got wrecked in the first turn. Actually rolled the car, landed on all fours, and didn't really have time to think about it. Just kept going as usual and just started picking the guys up. We were buried in the pack, probably 8th out of 8, and then just kept nerfing people and getting by, and here we are in 3rd place. So I'll take it.
Yeah, great day for sure for Christian Serapis there as we take a look at the 906 Chase D'Souza Diaz out of Blythe, California, wrapping up his day here at Laughlin. Randy Romo looks like he's going to be the 6th vehicle across the line, looking for his 2nd top 10 of the year. Ran 7th at the Parker 250 in that Polaris Razor, and he will cross the finish line. Came into this weekend 8th in the points. We'll see how it shakes out here.
Yeah, it was a hot one. I think 105, 110 today. Austin Baxter was in the car with me today watching temperatures. You got to run your race and race the clock, but you have to pay attention to those CV temperatures, that belt temp, all of those things come into effect on how hard you can push the car.
Good effort, and of course very aware of what's going on out there in his surroundings, and that's what helps him get across the stripe as quickly as he did. Here's a look at the UTV Turbo and UTV Pro Open results. The overall, of course, congratulations to Ryan Piblick. Solid day there today. Unfortunately for Mitch Guthrie, was way out front, had a good-looking run going, but a mechanical would relegate him back down to 11th.
And here's a look at Turbo points. He came into this weekend 3rd, now a 1-point lead for Ryan Piblick over Dustin Jones, and Mitch Guthrie falls down to 3rd. Hey, for more information for the Best in Desert Racing Series, you can find us online at bitv.com. And always make sure you head over to MAVTV.com and find us on social media as well.
It's been a lot of fun. Hope you enjoyed all the great racing action from the All Terrain Concepts UTV Legends Championship.